Hi guys, so in this video I will be showing the low budget version of the Necromancer Carrion Golem, and this is where you will transit from the League Starter version to the low budget version. So for this video I'm going to do a different approach because I want to keep it short and simple, and as for the slides I will just be focusing on the important things to take note, while the rest of the information are all available in the path of building. Okay, so just a quick introduction, what this build has to offer. For map clear speed, it is around A, and this build has very high single target DPS. As for survivability, I'm just going to label it S first because we are still building towards multiple layers of defenses. And on the right over here, you can see this is just the stats for level 18 Necromancer. We are sitting at about 1.5 MDPS per Carrion Golem. Yeah, and we are utilizing the evasion and physical damage reduction from our armor for our defensive layers. So the total life is about 3000 plus bone barrier shield about 2000, and we are sitting at about 5000 plus effective HP. Okay, so this is how the skill tree will look like. Please take note there are various skill trees. So the first one will be level 38 after Act 4. Use this for leveling your witch. And then after Act 10 will be level 68, around level 68. And if you are using any other builds to level, you can just respec into this. Okay, next will be level 80. This should be more or less your generic skill tree. This is how it should look like. And once you are level 90, we'll be scaling more towards life, maximum life, and a little bit of damage over here with the Righteous Army. And if you still have more levels after that, from level 90 to 95, just scale more aura effect from our medium cluster jewel. Okay, next I want to talk about the mana reservations before people start asking me why can't they run all the auras. So these are all the notables you need to run, and you need to make sure that you take all the nodes within the area. So first will be sovereignty, next will be influence, third will be heart and soul. So heart and soul is just slightly above your starting skill tree. And then fourth will be leadership, fifth will be aligned spirits, which is just right beside leadership. Sixth, you will need a jewel socket for your conqueror's efficiency. And then last will be the mana nodes beside the large cluster jewel. Okay, so for our class Ascendency, we'll be taking first Commander of Darkness, and then you'll move down towards Mindless Aggression, and then pick up the Unnatural Strength so that you can hit the 3 Spectres or more zombies much easier in the early game. And then the last one will be Bone Barrier for more effective life for your minions and for yourself. Okay, and for our Bandit, just kill all of them to get 2 passive points. And our Pantheon will be using Soul of Solaris and Soul of Gufku. Okay, so for our skill gems, in the Carrion Golem 6 link, we're going to link it with Multi-Strike, Brutality, Impale, Melee Physical Damage, and Predator. So we are not using minion damage now because of the additional minus 25% to minion life. I think it's too taxing, so replace with melee physical damage. Okay, next will be Trilling in our weapon, the utility. We're going to have Flash Offering, Desecrate, and Convocation. The next Trilling on another weapon will be your first aura, which is Precision, Dread Banner, and Generosity. The next 4 link on your helmet, which will be your Alpha's Howl, we're going to have Vitality, max level, Pride at max level, Flesh and Stone at max level, and Clarity, keep it only at level 1. You can increase this slightly higher or lower, doesn't matter, but I feel at level 1 is more than enough, because if we are not going to use it, we're going to have 25 mana regen. Actually that is enough, but at certain times you will probably want to spam, so 40 mana will be nice. Okay, next will be our zombie supports. We're going to link it with Feeding Frenzy, Minion Life, and Maim. And for the Spectre and Animate Guardian, just link it with Mid Shield and Life Tap. Next will be our 2 unset rings where you put your flame dash, and the curse will be vulnerability. So over here below I have a leveling skill gems for you to use through the axe. Yeah, so these are the main ones that you'll probably use. If you have others in mind, you can use them as well. So yeah, this is just for reference. Okay, this will be our equipment setup. So for our weapon, we're going to use 2 cold iron point. Our helmet, we're going to go with Alpha's Howl. This is for our increased level in the aura and the 8% reduced mana reserve. The body armor, I will talk more about it later because there are multiple alternatives to it. Okay, next, the gloves, boots, amulet, and 1 unset ring. Just look for life and resistance on them. And the last unset ring, look for strength and maximum life, and then just benchcraft dexterity onto it. For our belt, we'll be using the darkness and throne, and the ghastly eye jewel that is socketed to it, you need to look for strength and dexterity, both of them, and as well as maximum life. So if you do not have strength and dexterity, you will be you'll be short of strength and dex to run all the skill gems. Next is the Flask. So for the Flask, we'll be using Quicksilver. Look for increased movement speed on the modifier. This is actually the wrong value, so I think it's about 10% you are able to get now. So yeah, do not look at this value. And then the second flask we're going to use is Quartz Flask. And I've decided to use immunity to poison for this, since the immunity to curse is no longer viable for maps. And the third flask we'll be using is Jade Flask. Look for the increased evasion rating on your modifier. The Granite Flask is the fourth one, and look for increased armor during flask effect. And the last will be the Eternal Life Flask. Look for immunity to bleeding for the modifier. So for our jewels, these are all the important ones you need. First, you will need to get Primordial Eminence, and then Primordial Harmony, Primordial Might, and then Anima Stone. This is your bread and butter of the build. You will definitely need them. And the next one will be Fortress Covenant. This is not really important, so you can get it later on. So total there will be 6 unique jewels you will need to have, including the Conqueror's Efficiency. Okay, so for our large cluster jewel, look for a maximum of 11 passive skills, and use the Orb of Transmutation and then Orb of Alteration to roll until you get the renewal passive skills onto your large cluster jewel. This is very important. This is very important to sustain your golems as well as your spectres and your zombies. Okay, so for the medium cluster jewel, just look for any number of passive skills and then roll until you get Replenishing Presence, which grants you and nearby allies 1% life regeneration, similar to the renewal. So in total, you will need 2 large cluster jewels and 2 medium cluster jewels. As you can see from the tree over here, it just branch out from 1 large cluster jewel to 2 medium cluster jewels, and same over here. This is required for you to socket your primordial unique jewels. Okay, I will now talk about the body armor. So these are the alternative. I have actually mentioned it in the previous League Starter video, and it will be the same over here. So the first alternative is to just get a 6-link corrupted armor with the correct colors, basically 2 blue, 3 red, and 1 green. And the second alternative is to get a 6-link uncorrupted strength and in armor with any modifiers or even clean. So use all alterations until you get the maximum life modifier. Best is a minimum of 80 to 90, and then use Orb of Augmentation if there is no suffix slot. And the last will be to use a Regal Orb to make it rare, and just hope you get some good modifiers. Otherwise, just make do with whatever you have. And the last step will be to just benchcraft percentage increase armor and evasion with maximum life, or just benchcraft anything that is useful. Okay, the third alternative will be Tabula Rasa if you really are unable to get the first or second alternative. And the last will be to just use any unique armor. Doesn't need to be unique energy shield armor, but just any unique armor with the correct socket colors, which is 2 blue, 3 green, 3 red, and 1 green. Next, I'm going to talk about the Animate Guardian setup. So for your weapon, use the Kingmaker. The Kingmaker consists of the Soul Taker, Heartbreaker, and 1 Orb of Fusing. Vendor these 3 to any NPC and you can get the Kingmaker. So do not get the Kingmaker weapon by itself because it will be expensive. Okay, next, for our helmet, we'll be using the Leer Cast. Just for you and nearby allies can gain 15% increased damage. For our body armor, use Groove Cool's Pelt for the insane amount of regeneration on your Animate Guardian. And for the gloves, there's actually 2 options. So the first one will be to get a rare Hunter gloves with Intimidate on hit, which is over here. And then the second alternative is to just get Corrupted gloves with Cursed enemies with vulnerability on hit. So if you are using this Cursed glove, you can actually remove the vulnerability skill gem on one of your unset rings. And the last one, for the boots, we'll be using Victorious Flight so that we can have more movement speed for everybody. Next, for our Spectres, we'll be raising these 3. So first will be Carnage Chieftain, which provides frenzy charges. Second will be Host Chieftain, which provides power charges. And the last one will be Day of 2, that actually grants you additional physical damage. So for those of you that are lazy to get Day of 2, you can just get another additional Carnage or Host Chieftain, whichever you prefer. Okay, lastly, I will talk about the transition from the League Starter build to the low budget version. So these are the things you need to buy in order of importance. First, you will need the 2 Ghastly Eye Jewel so we can replace, and we will have enough strength and dexterity. Second, the Unset Ring because we will need more strength now. And the third will be the second Unset Ring for resistance and to socket your Flame Dash. And then 4, 5, 6 will be your Primordial Stones, which is the Eminence, Harmony, and Might. The Might probably will be the most expensive one, so you will need to look out more often. And 7 will be your Anima Stone, basically purchasing the whole set of Primordial Stones again. So yeah, if you sell the Primordial Eminence, Harmony, and Might, you will get the Anima Stone from the NPC. Okay, 8 will be your Large Cluster Jewel, 9 will be your Medium Cluster Jewel, and then 10 will be your Cold Iron Point. You can only use the Cold Iron Point once you have socketed the Anima Stones with the 3 Primordial Stones. Otherwise, you will only have 2 Carrion Golems running around. Okay, so 11 will be your Fortress Covenant, and the last will be your Animate Guardian gears. Okay, that's it for the build guide for our low budget version. I will be releasing the medium budget version very soon, and most of the information can actually be found on the path of building. So also do remember that there is a Google cheat sheet for you to find your items. Just remember that you might need to change the league to Expedition in case the website doesn't automatically change for you. And you can always message me on Discord for help or if there's anything you do not understand. So once again, thank you for watching. Do remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!